This is a beautiful song of Swami Ram Tirtha, which has too many words of Farsi language in it, but he is just expressing what he was feeling at the time when he was living on the Ganges. And he is kind of chiding everybody. "Aa dekh le bahar, come and see what a beauty, what..." The garden of God is blooming, and there you are suffering miserably, running after money and mortal things. And see what kind of beauty and the magnitude of the joy is in abundance, it is boundaryless, and it is infinite. When your stupid, silly, small mind moves away, actually only then your eyes are able to see the wondrousness of this world. Small minds bothered about small things. What will I do when I'll retire? What will I do when children will grow up? What will I do when they'll get married? What will I do when this happens or that? It's all just hypothetical nonsense which goes on. And then sometimes the nonsense is, what will I eat? And where will I sleep? And where shall I go? And what more I need to see. So, slave of senses. Like if somebody burns a fire to do a homa or a bonfire, the more gas you will pour into it, the more the flames will become bigger and bigger. You cannot douse the flame by putting gas onto it. So when you listen to your senses and provide what your senses were demanding, you are putting more gas into those senses, and they'll become more brazen, more stubborn, more demanding. When you try to satisfy your senses by indulging, the senses become more stronger and mind will just follow the senses. And then the journey of wandering into the sensual world goes on and on. And actually the more you eat, the more your spleen becomes deficient. The more you eat, the more your system has to function. Your intestines begin to get weakened up because of all this load of food. And people eat so senselessly. What they eat is no good, minus the nutrients. It's just what looks good, or what is more good for the tongue. You are not eating for the nutrient value of it, or you don't even think before eating anything, what will this food do to my body once it becomes part of the body. Our sages were so perceptive, so vigilant and so conscious. Not only they would think about what the food will do to me, but they will also see who is cooking the food and in what mental state that food is being cooked. Hence, it was not a small thing to cook a food for a Mahatma, because they wouldn't allow anybody. Your mind which runs the thoughts are what? Energy, and that energy flows from your hands, from eyes, to whatever you touch. And especially food. See, when you want to make dough for the roti, chapati or bread, you have to knead it, roll it, knead it, roll it. So it's your hands are totally into it. And if it is summer and hot and you are sweating, then your sweat is also into it. The chefs wear the cap, but that's just for the hair. What about the sweat? And mind you, what about if they sneeze or cough? Their hands are all, with that white flour or whatever they are doing it, and they are sneezing. What will they do at that time? And that sneeze is having all those, the sputum will have all those viruses, and when you do this, so much coming out of your mouth, so much coming out of your nose, so bacteria and viruses, and especially if somebody has tuberculosis, you are doomed. You ate just a bread or something of that place and that person had stage 3 or 4 of tuberculosis, you are getting free gift of that too. So who will cook the food was very, very important thing. For many years, although I was living in my parents' house, but I would cook my own food. I won't eat their food. I had my own kitchen. I was 21, but I had my own kitchen. I would cook my own food. I won't take their food. And mother was not just an ordinary woman. She was a satsangi. She was all into these pious things and, mahatmas and satsang and going to. And yet I won't eat from her. So because people are carried away by the looks of the food, hence you don't think about what it will do. So people go on eating. Give them variety, they go crazy. 5 course, 6 course, 7 course, 8 course. On and on and on. And they wind it up with the coffee. The most bad thing to be taken after food. But they don't know the science of food. How to make it, how to eat it, and what to do when you have eaten the food. There's a whole knowledge and wisdom about it. But if you don't have it, you're eating and eating and eating and eating. What's happening is the body has to function, the body has to digest, the body has to remove the waste from the food, absorb the nutrient, kick away the waste out of the body. So it's a lot of work. When you eat, it's job of maybe half an hour or what. And body has to work for at least 8 to 10 hours to digest that food, depending upon what you have eaten. So more you indulge in food, the more your digestive system gets weakened up. The more you see through your eyes, TV show, internet, this or that, the more your eyes get tired. The more you hear loud music, which is so common these days, parties and everything, loud music, blaring music, well, they are losing their power to hear. Very soon they go deaf. Once they have struck 50 or so, if they don't kill themselves with drug overdosage, then they'll be losing their hearing very soon. Gets weakened up. So the more you hear, the more ears are weak. The more you see, the eyes are weak. The more you eat, your digestion, your body is weakened up. The more you worry, it affects your breathing. The breath becomes shallow. So very small breath. Lungs get weak. When lungs get weak, the liver and heart is going to just follow. Stress, sadness injures your lungs. Now you are stressing, say, for your business or your job. And you're so worried and you're stressing and you're worried and you're stressing. You're injuring your lungs. And by the time you make all that money which you want to, you will not be in a capacity to spend and enjoy that money. What would you do with that money? You tell me. Apart from maintaining and sustaining your body and your family, why are you earning? I am not talking about who is making just enough to manage the needs of the family. I am talking about those people who have so much and yet they are crazy after money. Running a business requires attention and stress comes free. There is no stressometer to check how much stress you have. They just have a gadget machine to check your BP or to check your heart through ECG. But there is no meter to check how much stress and what stress is doing to your system. But we worry too much. We think too much. And we indulge so much through our senses. See, small children, they have abundance of energy with them. Hence, what do they eat? So less. Just a milk diet or something. Then soon the grains and the other things are added. But still, their food choices are very limited. It's a child, you can't serve everything to the child. But the child digests that food so well that he's hungry in next 3 hours. Every 3 hours the child is eating. But child is not stressing, what will I be given after 3 hours? I had this meal, now what will they give me? They don't think, they don't ponder, they don't demand. Whatever you give, they eat. They might be picky for certain things that I will not eat that. But usually you give them whatever they are happy to eat, but not too many choices. But as the child is growing, he is seeing his mom and dad going crazy after food, so he too picks up those bad habits. Then he begins to demand, I'll eat this and this and not this and not this and not this. See, I have a lot of laborers who are working in construction or repair work in ashram. I see their kids. They are just sitting on the ground. They are not wearing very good clothes. Sometimes they are half naked, no shoes, nothing. And it's cold and I say, where are your shoes? Where are your shoes? And he's giving me that sparkling laughter. What the hell are you speaking? What shoes? We are wearing layers and half naked and running around in the ground. All soiled up, all muddy and dirty. And eating just simple roti. No supplements. No boxed, baby food. He's just munching on his simple roti. No sabzi, no dal, nothing. He's just munching that roti. And then he grows up and will be doing the same job maybe like his father. But I'm very happy at least for all the people whom I know who are working for this ashram or who come here as a laborer. All of them are now sending their kids to schools. Very good thing. They are getting educated, very good thing. But now they are picking up all the bad habits also. They need that particular food and they need that particular drink. So they are losing out to something.